Eli Nishmas Mordechai. The koilel is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. Shlam Esther Bas Bela. The koilel is sponsored by Nishmas Chaim ben Moshe, Nishmas Betzal ben Moshe. The Masechta is sponsored by Moshe Banda to thank Hashem that I'm able to thank Him for everything that I have. The Parnas HaChodesh, Jeff Rosner, Eli Nishmas, his 17-year-old son, Yosef Simcha, Chaim ben Shlomo Yehuda, Parnas HaChodesh, Lakewood and Lebovic families, Lakewood, New Jersey, because torah and achdus are the best segula. Parnas HaChodesh, Eli Nishmas, Chaim bas Yosef, Parnas HaYoim. We have a few of them. Mordy Straus, lirfua Shlema Miriam bas Tamar, who's receiving a new kidney today. Lirfua Shlema, Parnas HaYoim, lirfua Shlema Avraham ben Esther, Yosef Nisim ben Esther, Shira bas Chemda, Parnas HaYoim, the Braun kids, wishing the best mommy in the world a happy birthday. We should always be able to make you proud and happy. Parnas HaYoim, Meir Planker for Shlema for Tinoik ben Bela Freidel. Parnas HaYoim, Mordechai Ness, Shevach V'hodaah to Hashem for the safety of the girls in Camp Sternberg Lightning. David Kramer, Yaldi, Nechti, Ishti, and all who celebrate my Zikna birthday with me. Thank you, Rebelli and Levi, for the video. Brain intact, unleash your full potential should be Zoch and Kedusha, success in all my endeavors. Joshua S. That's Taki. In honor of the Schlafraks, thank you for your generous hospitality. By the Kamiansky family, in memory of our Saba Mordechai ben Avram Tzvi Kamiansky upon his 18th yahrzeit. And the Shlomo should have an aliyah, and the art is sponsored for complete refuah for Chaim Tzvi ben Leah. Since we are here in the 3 weeks, just a few days from Tisha B'Av, and a kiss from Hashem, we're going to be learning the sugyas that we learn on Tisha B'Av. So we are going to take out just one aspect of the shir. It's a very important aspect, the Simcha and the humor that we usually have, so that people could, we had requests, different camps, people, if we could do these dapim a little bit more on the serious note, because obviously we're talking about the Churban. What does the Churban mean to us? Churban Beis HaMikdash, how is it important to us? We were created, we're born into this world for one reason. Kirvas Elokim, to have a connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That was destroyed. That ability to have that connection to the Rebbeinu Shalom, the way they had it in those days, is gone forever, for at least for now. The Beis HaMikdash with the Korbanos, with everything we had, with Aliyah L'Regel, the Simchas Beis HaSheva, the Nevuah, the Vilna Gaon says that the Vilna Gaon, has no musag of what a simple balabas in those days was. They're godless and their connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that's what we lost. Question: how many people did the sun stand still for? Yeshua. Who else? That's the one I was looking for. Nagdim ben Gurion, Yeshua, and Moshe. Very good. Says the Gemara, and because this daf and the daf I'm coming up are basically double in size in terms of the words, we're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. We're holding 5 lines from the bottom of the Daf Nun Hey Amud Beis. Or maybe it's 8 lines. Oh, Rabbi Yochanan. Maidich siv ashri adam mefachi tamid. Praiseworthy is a person who's always afraid, scared. Umakshe liboy yipol bara. However, if he has a tough heart, he'll fall into the bad. Akamtzo bar kamtzo chor Yerushalayim. It's because of these 3 stories that we're going to go into. At least one of them today. Kamtzo bar kamtzo, the famous bar kamtzo, a tarangol tarangolta, a rooster and a hen, chorev Turmalka, the city Turmalka was destroyed. Ashoka the rispak chorev Beitar, and because of Ashoka the rispak, Beitar was destroyed. So Tosfos just brings the Gemara that says that this pasuk was used. It's a beautiful Gemara that Ashri El Mefachet Tam is referring to somebody who's always fearful he's going to forget his learning. have to do chazara, Rabbi say chazara. Says the Gemara, Akamtza bar kamtza chorv Yerushalayim. And the question is, okay, there's one bad guy out of the two maybe, but why is Kamtza brought into the picture? What did he do wrong? So the Marsha says that Kamtza and Bar Kamtza are actually father and son. And other Achronim point out that maybe the son learned his bad midas from his father. That's why the father's thrown into this picture. But the Magidim like to say, and different people take it to their Gadol and their Magid, that part of the problem was that there was a person that was insulted here. You know, like sometimes you get hurt. Why didn't he invite me to his chasana? I'm so friendly with him. Why wasn't I invited? So you weren't invited, but show up to the wedding. Go, he's your friend. Go to the wedding. Because he didn't go to the wedding, he wasn't invited, and he didn't go, that's also a problem. He's a big cause to the whole story. There was a person who loved, his best friend was Kamtza, but his enemy, Bar Kamtza. Very similar name, but different. He made a big feast, and he told his servant, go make sure that Kamtza shows up. He brought Bar Kamtza. See, over here, he should have came by himself. He should have shown up. Yosef. He finds the master shows up and he sees that Bar Kamtza is sitting at his meal. He can't believe his eyes. Speaking in third party. This guy's my enemy. You're my enemy. What are you doing here? My boy Sacha. Kumpoik. Get out of here. You know, it's very embarrassing. It's very awkward. You want to throw me out in front of everybody? Do me a favor, Shivka, and leave me alone. Let me stay here. I'll even pay you for everything I ate and drank. Get out. He was desperate. He realized the bezoin he's going to have. Let me pay you for half the meal. 3 times. Like the amount of times that you ask for mechila, 3. 3 is a number. I'll pay for everything. No way. I hate you. Get out. He's being tough in being mean to somebody else. He grabbed him. He lifted him up and tossed him out of his meal. Omar. So Bar Kamtza said, since there were Talmid Chachamim there, the Rabbanim were there, and they didn't make a macha, so you see from here that they agreed to what happened, and that's it. I'm done. Let me Maaser to the king. Kurtz is a lashon of a cake. If you mastered, if you snitched on somebody, you got a cake. Let me get some cake from the king. So what exactly is going on here? If he goes to the king and the king actually destroys Yerushalayim, it's going to destroy Bar Kamtza's house and everything else also. But that's what Kas does. You don't think. You go and you take revenge on somebody, and that revenge actually hurts you. So what was his trick? He went to the Caesar, he said, the Jews are rebelling. And who told you? Prove it. Send a carbon. And the pasuk says, here's the pasuk, Ish Ish Beis Yisrael Menagir B'Yisrael Sheyakriv Karbana. Ish Ish, the Gemara Darshans. What's the extra ish? Even a non-Jew could bring a carbon and we have to accept it. Now you send it and see. We'll see if they'll listen to you and if they'll accept your carbon. He sent the best of the best. Veal. So Bar Kamtza says, he's the shliach, he's bringing the carbon. He inflicted a mum on the animal where you can't bring such an animal to the mizbeach. Benifs v'sayim, the upper lip. Something small. And some say cataracts is Rashi. Duchta delididon haba muma udidu lav mumahu, in a place where for us, Klal Yisrael, it's considered a mum and an animal. You can't bring such an animal on the mizbeach. For the non-Jew, it's not a mum. If you want to do a little bit drush, the Sosayim, the Lashon Hara, the Re'iyos Asuros, for us is considered a chet. For them, it's not considered a chet. So Rabbanon said, but nevertheless, even though there's a mum, this could be pikuach nefesh. Let's do this. Omar Lahu Reb Zechariah ben Avkulos, says Reb Zechariah, who later on he didn't speak up. Yoimru bali mumim craving legabi mizbeach. If we do this, they didn't realize the imminent danger. They said, well, if you bring a bal mum, an animal with a cataract, so in future generations they'll say you're allowed to bring your animal with a cataract. Sova lemikdalei. So they said, let's kill bar kamtza. If he goes and snitches on us, it's all over. Let's kill him. So they'll say that the reason why we killed Bar Kamsa is because he inflicted the mum on purpose, and that is a issa deraisa. Obviously, there's no chiyuv misa, but people are going to get confused. Omer Rabbi Yochanan. An besanusa Yisher Reb Zechariah ben Avkulos hichrivas betenu v'sorfas echalenu. His patience, his tolerance, saying, "Oh, you know what? Let's not kill him." In fact, Bar Kamsa was chayiv misa. Chayiv misa. You have to kill him. That is the halacha. You have to kill him. He's a roidif. Hashkim lahargoy. Sometimes, it's not polite to make a macha. It's not the right thing. Let him live. Let him live. That one person that you spared against halacha, because you want to be a better mensch or whatever it was, he was chas v'shalom to talk about Reb Zechariah like that, but he was too patient over here. We're holding it against him. Because of that, there was the churban, v'sarvas echalenu, v'glisanu ma'artzeinu, tens of millions of Yidden died because of it. Shadal Evayu Lenirin Kesar. The Vilna Gaon just says, real quickly, we gotta move. The Vilna Gaon says, Anava over here means literally Anava, and that Reb Zechariah was such an Anav, he held himself as the smallest of the Sanhedrin. And the smallest of the Sanhedrin speaks first. But because he spoke first, nobody else wanted to speak after him, and that's what caused the problem.
Medrash says that he was. Medrash says that he was also the person at the party who didn't say it.
He was, it was the Rabbanan over there. So
kind of the Rabbanan. He was the Rabbanan.
I hear. And then Mida connected Mida, sort of. Shalei Levayu Lenirin Kesar. So he sent against them to Nero, the Caesar. Kikaasi Shada Nero LeMizrach. He did some sort of simon. He wanted to see if it's going to work. So he shot an arrow to the east, and it fell in Yerushalayim Benes. It fell in Yerushalayim L'Mayrav to the west. Also Nafal B'Yerushalayim. Any direction he shot the arrow, the Arba Ruchas Shemayim, all four directions. Also Nafal B'Yerushalayim. It fell in Yerushalayim. Amalei Linuka. Another simon he wanted to know. Slightly psukach, like we had in the Megillah. What are you learning in Cheder? Amalei v'nosatis nikmasi be'edoim b'yad ami Yisrael. Sometimes you go to a pasuk, whatever the pasuk says, you do a gorilla gra. You open up a pasuk. What does the kid say? V'nosatis nikmasi be'edoim b'yad ami Yisrael. I'm going to take revenge in Edom, in Esav, Edom. Omar, so the Caesar says, Kutrabrichu boil charuv be'isei. First of all, I see that Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to destroy the Beis Hamikdash. Uboil chapurei yodei ba'u gavra. But he's going to take it out on me. I'm going to be the scapegoat. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get punished for it. Orak v'ozal v'gayer. He ran away, and he became a ger. V'novak minei Rebbe Meir. He became a ger, and sort of like Rus, something special happened. Rebbe Meir came out of it. So Niroin, I guess right before he became a ger, sent to Aspasianos, come take over. Also tzara lo tloshne. So he surrounded Yerushalayim 3 years. There are 3 very wealthy people in Yerushalayim. Nagdim ben Gurion ben Kalba Savua. Kalba Savua we're familiar with, the father-in-law of Rebbe Akiva. Uben Tzitzis HaKeses. Nagdim ben Gurion shenok dolei cham ba'avuroi. The sun stopped for him. What happened? He borrowed 12 wells of water for the Eli Regalim, and he promised that if he doesn't pay back on time, he'll give 12 huge chunks of silver, and it didn't rain. And the day that he had to pay up, he said, pay up. He says, don't worry, there's plenty of time in the day. And then the guy was laughing. He went to the Beis HaMikdash, he davened, he said, I didn't do this for me, I did it for you, for your children. And sure enough, it started raining. But the guy said, listen, it rained, it was too late, it's already after Shkia. And then the clouds moved, and the world saw that the sun is still shining. So that was the nace that happened over there. He went back, the whole story over there. Ben Kalba Sivua, why is he called the Kelev, a dog? A satiated dog. If you go into his house hungry like a dog, which is, I guess, a huge level of hunger. Dog is always hungry. Even if you go in very hungry, you come out full. He's big machnasoyrech. Ben tzitzis hakeses. His tzitzis were always on a red carpet. They always put pillows under him wherever he walked. His name was Ben Tzitzis, says Rashi, but his nickname Kistoi Keses is because he hung out with the big politicians of Rome. One of the three said, "Let me support Klal Yisrael with grain and barley. Let me give them wine, which is one of the big staples in those days. You couldn't live without wine, and with salt and with oil. With the wood." Says the Gemara something you wouldn't believe. The one who gave the wood, Chacham said he did the best. That was the highest madriga. Why? The Rav Chizda, all his keys have a Maaser l'shamei bar medetzive. He wouldn't let anybody hold the key besides the key to the wood. He wouldn't give it to anyone. That he would hold in his own pocket, which now I just remembered the Maaser. So if it came up, I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I used to go to Rav Shach every Motzei Shabbos. My father used to learn with him Chavrusa. And my father, Rav Shach, once asked me if I could photocopy my father's Chidushim. So I photocopied the Chidushim, and I went to him during the week, knocked on the door, and what do you want? I want to give it to. So I went in to Rav Shach. As a kid, a little kid, I gave him my father's photocopies. So he stood up, and he had a key in his pocket. He took the key out, and he opened up like one of the things in his closet that he sat behind him. He opened up the door and put the chidushim in, and then he locked it, and he put the key back in. So there's certain things in his house that he was the only one that had the key. Nobody else had the key. The Omer Rav Chizda, akalba the chitei ba'yishitin, akalva the tzivei. For one storehouse of wheat, you need shitin kalba the tzivei. That's how many more wood you need. See, wood is much more. It's something. If you're talking about a time that there was how do you say, they surrounded the city. There was a siege. So there was no wood. Wood was more important than the chita. But the Gemara says that they had enough supply to last for 21 years. 21 years, you could just let the enemy sit outside and dry out and leave. Says the Gemara, but that's not what happened. Like in every generation, in every city, you have the bums. Let's go make peace. No, they were the type, you got to go to war, you got to kill them. No, let's go to war. It's not going to work. It's not going to help. So they went ahead and they burnt all the 21-year supply of the wheat and the barley, the avakafna, and there was a famine, and that forced Klal Yisrael to go to. They figured it's going to force them to go to war. I mentioned not long ago about this general Hernan Cortez, lived 500 years ago. He went to war, I think to Mexico or something, and he burnt his ships. He sunk all the ships. Told the soldiers, that's it. There's no way that way. The only way is forward, war, so that they shouldn't think for a second that they could escape that way. And that's the same idea here. There's no way we're not going to be able to survive 21 years. Either we fight or it's over. The Biryonim, they don't listen to Chachamim. Says Gemara Matar Babaisus, there's a woman, Marta. Another wealthy woman in Yerushalayim. She sent her messenger and she said, Zil Aisili Smida, go buy me some gishmaka bread from the fine flour. Ad Ozal is daben. Famine, nothing left. Also, Amar Lo. So he comes back and he says, the fine bread is gone. Smida Leka, Chivar Deika. There's white bread. No, so why didn't you buy the white bread? I didn't think about it. I was told, buy this, that's all I'm buying. Amarle, Zil Aisili. Buy the white bread then. And the Ozal is daben. Until he got back, it was gone. Also, Amarlo, Chivar Leka, Gushkareka. The whole wheat stuff, the coarse stuff. Amarle, Zil Aisili. So go buy it. And the Ozal is daben. Until he got back, it was sold. Also, Amarlo, Gushkareka, Kimcha Desari Ika. I could get you some barley bread. No, nothing left with the wheat. Omerlei, Zil Aisli, and the Ozal is daven. But by the time he got back, it's too late. Why is the Gemara telling us a story about a shaita, about a guy? He didn't chap on his own. He couldn't figure it out. 1 + 1 = 2. Okay, so there's no fight. So buy the next thing in line. And every time he comes back, he didn't learn the second time, the third time. Shaita. L'chayr, it's a lesson for us that we also sometimes we think to ourselves, if I can't learn Be'iyun, the best of the best, so I might as well not learn at all. No, sometimes you have to compromise. You don't have the Iyun, you learn the Bekiyas. You don't have the Bekiyas, you learn some Chumash. But learn something. The person doesn't put on tefillin, says, that's it. No, it's not that's it. So put it on for 1 minute before Shkia, but put it on. Chaparayin, at least something. So it's a lesson for everybody. Have a shlifa misana. She didn't have her shoes on. This wealthy woman, funekes. Let me go see if there's anything left. So she stepped on a piece of dung. Umesa, and she was such a mufunekes, she was so sensitive to stuff, she died just from being a mufunek. The soft, refined person in you. Vahanuga. I don't know how to say it in English.
A lot of pleasure.
Pampered. Vanuga shaloi nisso chaf ragla. She never tried stepping without a shoe. Igdamri Gregorius the Rebbe Tzadik Achla. She ate the leftover figs that Rebbe Tzadik sucked the juices out of. Ve'idnisa, Rashi says, she the smell of his disease, as the Gemara is going to say, he was a sick man. That was what caused her to die from Ve'idnisa, from her. She was very mefunak umeisa. The Rebbe Tzadik, what happened with Rebbe Tzadik Yosef? Arba'in shnim b'tanesa. He sat 40 years in the times of Yerushalayim, that the Yerushalayim shouldn't be destroyed. When he ate something, you could see it go down his throat. He was so skinny, it popped. And when he was a little healthier, he would suck their waters. So he couldn't eat a fig. That was way too much for him. Like Lahavdil, after the war, it's known when the Americans came in and they started throwing Hershey bars and food to the people that made it through the war. They ate the food and they exploded. Their stomachs couldn't take it. They were nifter from it. Here also, he couldn't eat a whole fig. He could suck on the juices of the fig, which reminds me of another story that there was I have to see where this came from, but it's either way, there's a Musar Haskell to the story. On the final day in one of the camps, the Nazis, the Yamach Shomam, decided to give out rolls as Bergen bells as a goodbye gift. And there was one Yid that was all the way at the back of the line, so the guy said, you know what, here, take an extra roll. Took the extra roll, and as he's going back to the bunk, these Russian Goyim surrounded him and said, we saw that you got that extra one, and they took his rolls. And he had a breakdown. He said, Rebbeinu Shalom, I finally get a roll, I finally get something, and they take it away from me. And he went to sleep hungry. He wakes up in the morning, and it's light outside. He's like, what's going on? The first time in 3 years that he woke up when there was light. He had to wake up for tugs. And he looks around and he sees everybody's dead. The Nazis put poison in the rolls, and he was saved. Sometimes what's bad is good, what's good is bad. When she was dying, she She threw out all her gold and silver. Shadite b'shuka. She threw it into the streets. Omra, hailamai boile. What do I need this for? And when I was reading this Gemara, I was thinking about Dr. Epstein, who's sitting right over here, who told me when he moved to Eretz Yisrael and he lives right below me, an apartment below me. His apartment, I'm assuming, is 25% the size of his house that he had in Skokie, Illinois. Lived next to him over there. Right, Avi? Something like that. 25%. He said, all my stuff that I accumulated over the years, all my stuff, it's nothing. I'm giving it away. Can't even sell it. The piano that doesn't fit in his house and all the cloud, everything. You know what? All the stuff, it's just stuff. We're not bringing with us. The Kesef and Zav into the street. Their silver, their money into the streets, they'll throw it. Says the Gemara, this man, he was the head of the bums in Yerushalayim. Baruch Chassid, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he was a nephew of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai Abba. Sholach le Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai sensed him. He had pull with the bums. I want to make a private meeting with you. Also, when are you going to stop doing your little tricks and killing the whole nation with the starvation? What should I do? If I say anything, they'll kill me. Figure out a way that I could get out of the city, out of Yerushalayim. Maybe I'll make a small little save over here, which actually happened. He made a small save. Pretend that you're very sick. Come do and then bring something that smells really bad, like a dead animal, and put it by you. Hide it under your blanket, and everybody will smell it, and they'll say, oh, and everybody will say, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was nifter. Just let your talmidim come in, and don't let anybody else carry you. They shouldn't feel that you are light. You know, we know a person can balance himself in a certain way. They were able to tell who's dead and who's alive. Don't let them carry you. He did it. When Talmidim came and held him. When they came to the gate, these biryonim, the bums of Yerushalayim, wanted to stab the Gadol Ador, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai's body, to see if he's really dead. They're going to say what? The guy are going to say, look at these Jews. They stabbed their Rebbe. So at least push him, shove him. What are you going to do? What are you crazy? You're going to push a dead Rav? So they opened up the door, Nofak, and he went out. He got to the Romans. Omar Shlomo aloch malka. He tells Aspasianos, Your Majesty, Shlomo aloch malka. Omar le mechayvet straight ktala. For that alone, you would be put to death twice. First of all, I'm not the king, I'm just the Caesar. You calling me? I'm just the general, and you're calling me the king. And if I'm the king, so what happened that now all of a sudden you show up? Rabbi said, like on Rosh Hashanah, we scream, Melech, Hashem Melech. But where are you today? How come you're not here the whole year? One day a year you show up. What are you coming today? The fact that you're upset that I called you a Melech, in truth, you are in the future going to be the king. And I'll prove it to you. If you're not the king, you wouldn't be able to capture Yerushalayim. And the Gemara, and he darshans, Vein Adir Elo Melech. Says the Levonin, which is Yerushalayim, Ba'adir Yipol through a king. So if you're just a general, you wouldn't be able to conquer Yerushalayim. You have to be a king to conquer Yerushalayim. Levonin, Elo Beis HaMikdash, and Levonin, says Rashi, a lashon of Lavan. That was another unbelievable thing in Beis HaMikdash. You bring a carbon and that's it. It erases your averis. Beis HaMikdash. Shlema Hara Toiv Hazeh V'Levonin. I mean, you see from here the tremendous emunah that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had. He understood pshat in the pasuk, and based on that pshat that he understood, it wasn't just torah and a pshat. He risked his life. He went out and called him king, knowing that based on this pasuk, he's really going to be the king. Sponsored by Mordechai Sapaznik, in my honor, and by the MDY Tehillim group. Tehillim.mdy 8min.com. So the Aspasianos tells him, the You're upset at me. How come I didn't come until now? But in this case, this bond, the Biryonim, the strong guys, the bums, they didn't let me come. What were you so scared of them? If you had a barrel of honey and you had a snake wrapped around it, wouldn't they break the barrel? Get this snake out. Ishtik, you didn't know what to do. In other words, you should have broken down the walls. Get rid of, let us come in. You get rid of these guys. Destroy your city, but get rid of them. Ishtik, he didn't have what to say. Rav Yosef, Tamar, Rav Akiva, Meshiv Chachamim. He turned around the Chacham, Achar, backwards, V'daitam Yisakel. He took the mayach, the intelligence of the Chacham, and he was misakel it. He wasn't intelligent anymore. He couldn't answer. Why? He could have answered. Shaklinan tzvatav, shaklinan lei, the draken v'katlinan lei, v'chavita shavkinan la. You don't have to destroy the city. We're waiting for an opportunity to destroy these biryayin. Without destroying the city, why do you have to destroy the city? Save the barrel, destroy the snake, grab the snake by a plier, by a tog, and then get rid of him. So then this messenger shows up from Rome, and he says to Aspasionos, "Kum, stand up, Your Majesty. The mislay Caesar, Caesar's dead. And the noblemen of Rome said, you are the one that should take over." So Rabbi Zakai's nevuah, his Ruach HaKodesh, came to fruition right then and there. He's only wearing one shoe. He tried to put his second shoe on, it didn't fit. And he tried to remove the one shoe he had on and it wouldn't come off. What's going on here? He tells him, don't be sad. When you hear something positive, see, again, he's taking the torah and it's life. Explains what's going on here. Your bones fatten. So what should I do? Bring a guy that you don't really like that much, somebody you hate, and bring him in front of you. The ruach, the spirit, that's downtrodden, the tiyabish gar, it'll dry up the bones. So you see from here a pellet de gezach that, and this dvarim you do him, that when you have an enemy, when you're upset at that enemy, you're causing yourself grief. It's hurting your own body in a physical way, literally hurting you. So you mevater him, you moichel him. You're not moichel him. You're helping yourself to the point you could come out of your shoes, literally come out of your shoes. And he did that, and he was able to put on his other shoe. Since he's so smart, you're very smart. Why didn't you come to me beforehand? I told you already. The Biryonim stopping me. I know that you told me, and I told you that it's like a barrel with a snake. So he says, Aspasionos says, listen, I gotta go. I'm king. I'm out of here. We're gonna bring somebody else instead. But ask me for one thing, and I'll give it to you. Give me the G'dayla Adar, which is Shilto Derem Gamliel, and this chart right over here, the Nasi Rem Gamliel. Oh, I think, yeah, right over there, which he comes from a whole, Hillel Zaken was the Nasi, Reb Shimon, it's just generations of Nasiim that goes all the way back to David HaMelech. Let the Messiah stay. Which in fact, because it stayed, look at us, we're learning Gemara now because of Rebbe, who's on the bottom, Rabbi Yehuda Anasi, who wrote the Mishnah. So because Rebbe Zakai escaped and did that whole thing, we have Shisha Sidri Mishnah and everything else that we have today. Because the Chachamim Yavna, they rebuilt Torah. Vasvasa, the Messiah and Rabbi Tzaddik, and also we need the remedy for Rabbi Tzaddik who is sick. You see from here another very, very important thing, that when we talk about the Shoah and the 6 million Yidden that were nifter, we also have to talk about what? That were murdered. we also have to talk about the tremendous amount of torah that was taken from us. All the G'dolei Hadar and the tremendous amount of Svarim and everything else. And now you see over here that he wanted to save the torah. That was the most important thing to him, is the torah. The whole churban that they had and everything. He could have saved maybe more people, but for him it was important to save the Yavne V'chachomel. Kore alir of Yosef V'temer Rabbi Akiva. Meishu Chachamim Achar V'daitim Yisakel. Again, this is the same that we had before. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu took away his seichel for that moment. Why? You know what? Just give us a pass. Give all of Klai Yisrael a pass. Just this one time. No, so why didn't he? I can't ask too much. Let me at least get something that they'll be willing to give. He said one thing, I asked for 3. No, but it's still something doable. If I ask too much, I won't even get a little. What's this medicine that we're talking about? So remember, Reb Tzaddik was in a fast for 40 years. And he was he was just emaciated. So they couldn't give him food. So they gave him this bran water. They added to the bran water maybe a little bit more bran, but a little bit flour. They kept on adding a little bit of nutrition to the water until it became something that his stomach was able to tolerate. The kimcha, then they gave him flour water, but not, of course, real flour bread. His intestines enlarged, purta, slowly, little by little, he was able to eat. Ozal, so Aspasionis went, Russia, and he sent Titus to take over Yerushalayim. V'omar, Elohimoi. This, where's their Rebbeinu Shalom? Where's their God? Tzurcha soyu boy, the rock that they take shelter under from. Zeh Titus Russia. Shecheref v'gidef, he insulted, he slandered, klapi mal towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Also, what did he do? He did the worst thing imaginable. Tofas zoyno b'yadai, v'nichnas lebeis kodshei hakadoshim. I don't know, Gary, are you able to show the Kodesh HaKadoshim over here? Got it? Should I stand up? Oh, I don't even have to. This right over here is Kodesh HaKadoshim. This small area right here, Kodesh HaKadoshim. This is Bazara. In the Heichel, in the back part, right there. Okay, he went in there and brought in a Zaina, but not Stam. V'yitzia Sefer Torah, and he took a Sefer Torah, used it as a bed. V'ovad aleh aveira, v'ovar aleh aveira, and he used it over an aveira. The Maral says it doesn't literally mean a Zaina, maybe it means he brought in Avodah Zarah there. It's also called a Zaina. Okay, v'notel sayev v'gider saparoichas. He took a sword and he slashed the paroichas, the curtain that separates the heichal from the Kodesh HaKadoshim. It wasn't a solid wall, it was a curtain with beautiful depictions of animals. Yoshi did a drawing here. There's blood that dripped right out of the paroichas. There was an ace. And he thought that he killed himself. Now, obviously, himself doesn't mean himself. Himself is a way that the Gemara talks about the Rebbeinu Shalom. Says it in an obscure way, not to say, oh, he thought he killed. The Rosh Hashanah asks, what Titus was a shaita? He was a tippish. Titus thought that he could kill the Rebbeinu Shalom. He thought he killed Hashem. Nobody in the right mind thinks that. He says that death means a removal, a stalkos. You remove from this world. When he saw the blood, he thought it was a simon from Hashem, that Hashem removed himself from Klal Yisrael. Hashem is gone. He actually did. He left the Beis HaMikdash and went up, or he removed whatever was there in the Beis HaMikdash and removed that part. So to that effect, he was right. Not that he did it, but that Hashem was misalik himself. Shenemar, Shagu, Tzayrecha, they scream, your Tzayrim, Bekerev Mayadecha, in the place that you meet in the Beis HaMikdash. Somois, Soisam, Oisais. Al-Chanan Oimer, Micha Moicha Chasen, who's like you, that's strong, Ka Hashem. Micha Moicha Chasen Mekash, who's strong as you and tough. You heard him insulting you, and you didn't say anything. You were quiet. We said every day. You could also read it. Who's like you? That's a mute that didn't say anything. He took the baroiches, the curtain, and he made it into some sort of sack. The baroiches also to show that it was bloody and that his story is real. And he took the menorah and the shulchan and he put it inside the sack. So everybody knows in Rome, I was actually there, and there's the Shar Titus, the gate of Titus, and in the gate, in the circle on the side wall, there's the depiction of, and it's the picture on the left, the depiction of the menorah. And the famous Rav Kahneman, when he went there, he saw it. He said, "Titus, Titus, where are you? Klal Yisrael is here. We're here to stay. We're the only nation that survived. Only nation. You have the Romans, the Bavliim, and all the biggest empires. The only nation that ever remained as a nation, as a people, is Klal Yisrael." Shenemar uvechein reis Rishonim kvurim uvavou umemokim kodesh yahalechu. The Gemara is going to dash this pasuk v'ishtakchu v'ir came also, and then we forgot what happened that Titus did in the city. It says Gemara al tikri kvurim el kvutzim. They came together. Al tikri v'ishtakchu el v'ishtapchu. They praised. He took the menorah to pray. Look what I found. Look what the shul that I brought back from Yerushalayim. Look at this beautiful menorah. Look at this beautiful shulchan. Ikadam kvurim mamash. No, it's referring to the things that were buried. It was a einish that whatever the Jews hid, actually the Goyim were able to find and uncover and bury and bring back. So a big storm came and was going to drown him. He starts talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom. All your gvura always happens with water, but you drown Pare, but Sisra Tvoi B'mayim. And you're trying to get me also in water. Im Gibaru, he's fighting with the Rebbeinu Shalom, Merusha Merusha. If you're so strong, Yalli Abosha V'yasi Imi Muhammad, let's see you fight me on the ground. I guess he figured he's going to die anyways, but he might as well buy himself some time. He's now take another week or two to get to the Abosha. Yatsa Baskov Armaloi, Rasha ben Benoy Shal Esav Rasha. You're the descendant of Rasha. Bria Kali Yeshli Barilam. You know what? I'm not going to bother fighting with you. I'm going to give you the lightest animal, the animal V'yotoshima. It's a little mosquito, a little fly. I might call it a briukala. Why are you calling it a light animal? The ma'alna isla, it could eat. Umapkana lesla doesn't use a restroom. It's just one way in. I'll let the mosquito fight you. So the mosquito went into his nose. Started eating away at his brain for 7 years. So he had this pounding noise and just complete aggravation. He went by a blacksmith. Here's the guy with the hammer banging on the metal. Shoma kol arspata. He heard the hammer banging on the metal. Ishtik, and the mosquito was frightened by the sound, stopped eating his brain. Omar Ikatakanta, Gishmak, I have a way out of this. All I need to do is sit there by a guy banging on a hammer on metal to metal. It's a grosser refuah. You can imagine how bad the other sound was. So they kept on bringing these guys in to bang. If he was a non-Jew, he paid him. He said, I'm not paying you anything. You could see just the hana that you have that your enemy is suffering like this, that's your payment. This remedy was good for 30 days. Given the dash, once the mosquito got used to the noise, it got used to it and started eating his brain again. I was there by the nobleman Ukshmeis, and when Titus died, they opened up his brain. And they found a bird, a drawer. Some say it's this bird, that bird, one of these two birds. It weighed a tremendous amount, like a pound or two. This mosquito had a mouth of copper, and its nails show barzel of metal. And when he was dying, he said, they should cremate him, burn him, and they should spread his ashes on 7 seas, so that Hakadosh Baruch Hu shouldn't find him and put him to din. Says the Gemara, Kolinikus, the famous Targum Uncles that we have today, the Kolinkus was the nephew of Titus. Have a boy like Giri, he wanted to become a ger. So he went to take out the neshama, to bring the neshama down. Like by Shmuel, people say that till this day, Ouija board, it's not Ouija board. That kind of idea of to talk to a neshama. He asked Titus, who's considered great in the next world? What do you think about me becoming ger? They have way too many mitzvahs. It's very hard and difficult to keep all the mitzvahs. Go fight with them, start out with them, then you'll become something special. Those who shepherd Klal Yisrael become the heads. So what's your punishment? I myself gave my punishment. I said that they should spread my ashes in 7 oceans. Like the Reish Chacham always talks about the Gehenim is bringing from here to there, whatever that means. That itself is a tsar. They have to gather his parts from 7 different seas, and then they do a din every single day. And then they burn him. And then they go back and they spread it on 7 seas. We should see Mashiach B'Karayv.